Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading session. I hope you had an enjoyable long weekend. My apologies for Friday's session. I actually couldn't get home Thursday night. No, I wasn't out at the pub all night. It turns out the highway was closed. I was down in Victoria, and when I was heading home, they closed the highway because there was an accident. For those of you who don't know, I live on Vancouver Island in the Pacific Northwest, and the city of Victoria, which is about 30 miles or 50 kilometers south of me, it's the capital of British Columbia, but it's not really big as far as cities go. It's about 300,000 people, the greater Victoria area, and it's located on the southern tip of Vancouver Island. So on one side, it's encompassed by the Pacific Ocean. On the other side, there's a mountain. And believe it or not, there is only one road that goes in and out of Victoria. And at one spot, going through a park, it is down to two lanes, one lane each direction. And of course, that's always where the accidents happen. And that's what happened on Friday or on Thursday. A fuel truck flipped over on its side, and they closed the highway for, it was like something like 20 hours. And there was no way for me to get through. And I didn't have access to my computer to let anybody know. Thank goodness we had friends that we spent the night with. Otherwise, I would have been sleeping in the car. So there's my dog ate my homework excuse for not being here on Friday. But I thought it would be easier to explain than reply to a bunch of emails. So I did get your emails. I wasn't ignoring you, but that's what happened. I just flat out could not get home. It looks like Friday was a relatively quiet session, not like this morning's open. The market did trade a little bit Monday. There is always some electronic trading going on, even on holidays, but it's really not worth your while to do it. You can see Monday's session leaving off here around 69.80, which was more or less the same neighborhood where Friday's trading let off. I think Friday's trading let off actually a little bit lower, but look at that overnight decline. The pre-market market falling off sharply from the London Open, and now we're kind of waffling. Short story, we got a monster opening gap above the market here. So we'll see here if trading resumes in the downtrend. It sure looks that way right now. Or if the buyers are actually going to try to rally the market and get into that gap. Okay, so we're only about 4 or 5 minutes into the session here this morning, and already things are looking a little bit on the bearish side. The hawk producing a couple of sell signals here. We've got the first micro macro cross, the macro pullback, and a 4-arrow consolidation all lumped in to one. That quick little move lower did give you your high probability profit objective. Here comes the eagle. If you're looking for your, oh no, I guess your first in sync eagle signal occurred back here, and it looks as though it may be one of those odd days that that particular signal is not working out. Now we're getting actually a trend change signal on the eagle, and it looks like there might even be a second push opportunity on the signal. So all that means is we allow the signal to engage, we see where the market reacts, and then we use that particular level to enter our trade from. Lots of early volatility here. Lots of back and forth bounces. I think I may give them another a few more minutes here to settle in, see if they're going to settle on a direction. Right now, I'm definitely a little bit more bearish. Oh, although the Hawk and the Falcon already both bullish, and the Raptor now trying to get bullish as well. So our trading band going from a very bearish band, trying to flip over perhaps to a bullish one. This is one of these situations where context is important as well. You can't ignore the left side of your chart. So just scrolling through the left side of your chart, you can see how the market is conflicted. It goes up a little, it comes down a little. It goes up a little, it comes down a little. It's not really in a trending mood, not yet. All right, this could be an early number one signal. It won't print as a number one. However, it does have all the characteristics of a number one signal, namely that the clouds are trying to cross to get more bullish. We're getting that pullback. Now comes the buying attempt. I may go in here with an OCO. I may look to buy above there, sell below here, and just let the market decide for me which way it should go. All right, well, there they go. We got the bullish break. Like I said, this is what we would classify as an early number one signal. It is not a proper, or what we would refer to as a proper number one signal. And in a moment here, I will get my stops enabled. Now I actually want to hold my stop a little bit deeper to start, just to start. This now, if we get a rally from here, will produce a number one signal as the clouds are now stacked in a bullish fashion, and we'll see if we come back here with a buy signal now. And honestly, this is pretty aggressive on my part. It's still very early in the day. We're only, oh shoot, we're barely 10 minutes into the day. So this is one of those, let's dip our toe in the water and see what happens kind of trades. And you can see how, again, just how conflicted the market is. We got a number one signal to buy, and then a few bars later, the clouds crossed over to the short side. So we got a number one signal to sell. Just very, very neutral, very balanced market. And when the market is like this, you're pretty much forced to maintain a deeper stop. There's just no two ways about it. Unless you're scalping, of course, unless you're prepared just to take your profit when you have it. Then you can get by with a tighter stop. Otherwise, as I said, you're pretty much committed to running a wide stop. Okay, first serious obstacle, this swing high here around the 69.36, yeah, 35.5. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we got ourselves another number one signal to the long side, and I'll get ready with my, I think I'll go with the ATR. It looks like it's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, let's go with the ATR stop. Now, when you use the OCO orders, of course, you don't have a profit target. So you can either manually set a profit target by right-clicking on your chart and selecting the appropriate order, or you can try to run it out as that's what I'm trying to do in this instance. Another situation where it's just such an advantage to be able to trade more than one contract, because of course you could lock in some of this open profit, right? You could take off one contract and leave another one in play. So that should be your goal as a trader, to try to trade multiple contracts whenever possible. No, don't look back too far. Come on. Oh, come on. We need one more bar to ride out the nuts. I almost thought we were going to be able to ride out that swing, but not so. Okay, well, not a bad trade. It was admittedly a little bit dicey. Okay, sorry about that. I hope I didn't end up coughing in your ear. I think my mic cut out there for a moment, but the market did continue pushing a little bit higher through here. So there, unfortunately, wasn't able to ride out this swing. If you are still in this trade, however, I think I might be getting a little bit more aggressive with my stops for the most part. Try to protect a little bit more of that open profit. All right, we're heading a little bit sideways now. I would not be opposed to a little bit of a pullback here, maybe to the hard edge. You can see we're producing a discretionary signal here. It hasn't really met any of our high probability signal parameters. It is a signal nonetheless telling us that as far as the Raptor programming is concerned, the signal parameters have been met. Well, they continuing to press higher. All right, let's put that on the shelf for now. We do have a fair amount of buying going on at the moment. Wow, the trend is so strong I have half a mind just to buy in. But I know it's usually best to wait for a proper setup. The market does have a way of making things look really nice just before it turns on its heels and starts heading the other direction. All right, we're back to the first hard edge here on the Raptor, the hawk into yellow bars, which is not really one I want to see. The Falcon also, the trend line changing color. Part of the problem with the market the way it is right now, is also where do I cover the trade? So here a second push opportunity on this signal, which did not encounter the hard edge, but it got awfully close. You could certainly, I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to call that a hard edge bounce. Normally I suggest putting stops 2 swings back. Ideally, if you could cover it back here even. It's a little rich, but there you go. I haven't decided whether I want to try this one yet. Like I said, technically it's not a hard edge bounce. All right, there we go. Okay, a number 2 signal. That is not surprising given the retest of the high. So some bearishness creeping into the market. Back into the hard edge now. So the next buy signal will be technically a number 3 signal. The hawk getting a little bit more bearish again. We got some yellow bars and red bars. The Falcon, that trend line keeps breaking up. And here now, the official number 3 signal. As the market reacts to encountering the first hard edge. I'd feel much better about the trade if I could even get my stop down there, but of course that's not going to happen. All right, they poke through the high. Let's see if they're going to follow through. Or whether I have a one-tick trend. Woohoo! All right, struggling a little bit after breaking that recent high. Give me one more bar here, and I'm going to start to get a little bit more aggressive with my stops, I think. There we go. There we go. Come on. Kiss that profit target. Oh, whew. Oh, oh, that was hard work. You saw that quick little uptick there as the market approached my profit objective, and that's where all the sell orders, or pardon me, the exit orders for traders shorting around these levels were. So we caught a few sell orders on the way up, and the sellers now coming back, trying to knock the market down once more, but I'm okay taking profit on that one. We haven't quite filled the gap from Monday's session, but we've certainly filled the gap that we left if you're looking at Friday's close. So it'll be interesting to see how the market responds now, whether it's going to continue to stay bullish, or are they going to try to head lower again? You can see how the momentum builds and wanes. So there was the big strong move higher, and then look how much shorter this leg of the move is. It's just the way the market goes. Kind of runs out of steam and has to reset or gather some more strength. All right, well, will you look at this? We've got a possible late filter entry signal brewing on the Falcon, and that's almost impossible to comprehend that the market is still going to go higher from here, and yet there we go. That is a late filter entry signal. You could give the market a little bit more room, maybe look to enter above the high. There's the late filter entry signal now. When this bar closes, if it closes bullish, that will produce the late filter entry. The signal has already printed, but we need the trend or the filter to come back into sync, which it has now. So this bar is actually now the signal bar. I have my entry, as you can see, above the previous swing high, because I'm still not sure that the market can actually rally that far. We've come a long ways since the open. All right, well, here we go now with the late filter entry, even with my delayed entry. Let us see if the buyers have enough left in the tank to get up to my profit target. I could make allowances here because I've delayed my entry by a few ticks. I could look at taking my profit a few ticks early as well, providing, of course, the market gets up there. Come on. All right, once again, you can see the momentum really starting to fade here. I'm going to bring my break even up to here. Oh, come on, buyers. You got to be around here somewhere. All right, got the trade to break even. The obvious lack of momentum has me a little concerned, which is why I opted to roll to break even at this point rather than at the normal location. If you took your late filter entry signal earlier, you could be very close to your profit target at this point. Well, there's certainly a scalper's profit there. Oh, whew, another tough one. Look at that, the late filter entry. And you know, that's the thing with trading is often you just need to trust the signal. When you have one of those high probability signals and all the conditions are correct, you just have to trust the signal. Scott being the wise guy, he says, who is this guy taking profit on target? I know. That's not like me. The market had that big run out of the open, and I think a lot of traders are looking for a little bit of a reset through here somewhere. The market's been rallying for, well, at least 35 of the last 40 minutes. Yep, 3 for 3, Scott. Now, if I didn't have the trading room to keep open, that would be my day right there. I don't think I would press my luck any further. But we'll see. We'll see what develops here. Trade forecaster saying that trend mode, we're going to be back in trend mode in around 12 minutes time. That'll put us near the bottom of the hour. We're getting into that territory now where the sellers got very aggressive from Thursday and Friday session. All right, so there we go. It looks like after hitting our high probability profit target, we've woken up a few of the bears and we got a little bit of a downward push. All right, getting a trend change signal now on the Falcon, as well as a first micro macro cross on the Hawk. The target would be the hard edge here of the Eagle trading band, which is going to coincide with the hard edge of the Raptor trading band. I'm not so sure I want to get all that bearish just yet. All right, well, the Hawk signal certainly found its profit objective, but not a whole lot more. The Falcon still kind of working that early, well, it's not an early trend change signal. It is a trend change signal, but once again, you have to take context into consideration. People would always write me and say, hey, Eric, how come my Falcon signal did not work out? Assuming, of course, it's not going to work out. And I would tell them, look at the context. Look at, you're trying to short into a very strong uptrending market. Now, that's not to say the market isn't going to pull back. I fully expect a pullback. However, a pullback is going to be more reliable or easier to time once we see the retest of the high. So if you are short here on that Falcon trend change signal, your your stops have to be above the high. And try not to put it just 1 or 2 ticks above the high. Give yourself a little bit of room, because if the market does pull back here, there is the distinct possibility it will break the high by a tick or two, and then head lower. So you don't want to get stopped out. You don't want to be wrong by only a couple of ticks. That's always annoying. It does look as though they're going to get low enough to find your high probability profit target anyway, and maybe even the primary support zone right here. As we encounter the hard edge. Okay, so it looks like the market did tail off enough there to find your high probability target on that trend change signal. We may not get a whole lot more, as we're now at the primary support line. There could be a little bit of a reaction here, and we might see that test of the extreme. Things slowing down a whole lot from what they were early on. And honestly, it's a little bit of a tough call at this point to say which way the market wants to go from here. Definitely has some bearishness going on, no question about that. Excuse me. All right, well, they're just thinking about stuff right now. The market really balanced. We're near 69.50, and we know that has been an influential number as well. So we'll just sit here and wait. That's an interesting suggestion, Frank. Frank says, Eric, I love the trade manager, but opening it in each chart takes a lot of space. Could someone create a way for all charts like the dome and select the symbol you want to trade? So I'll have to talk to the programmers about that, see if that's something that they can do. Yeah, that's an interesting suggestion. Thanks for making it. All right, into the hard edge now. And whenever the market encounters the hard edge, we anticipate a reaction. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of a bullish push now. The eagle giving us a red bar buy signal. So an early opportunity to get in there. Wow. According to the trade forecaster, we are going to be in trend mode for about an hour and a half. Okay, sounds good to me. Which way? Which way are we going to trend? First micro macro cross now here on the hawk, and that would be again in line with the bigger trend this morning. Okay, you can see how traders still a little conflicted about which way they really want to go here this morning. All right, you can see we got a lot of back and forth here. A lot of sideways congestion. And well, we've broken through the bottom end of this little trading range. Maybe that's all that the buyers had left. We're going to produce a cloud crossover signal here on the Raptor in a moment. We have a first micro macro cross here on the Hawk. This being a little bit easier to trade in hindsight than real time. We're likely to get a macro pullback for you Hawk traders. All right, they're now the number one signal to sell. And, well, I'll show it to you. I'm not sure if this market is truly committed to heading lower at this point. We do have a little bit of a pause in the action, and you can see how the market's kind of flinching here. So that would qualify as a second push opportunity if you wanted to try to short it from here. So now we have the completed number one signal. This is another one of these situations where stop placement is going to be a little bit tricky because we haven't really seen a great big test of the extreme yet. Sellers trying to get busy. This now the proper second push territory below the low of this bar right here. And like I mentioned earlier, this a little bit tricky because for the most part the market has been in an uptrend, and here we have the sellers trying to muster a push lower. I would be a little bit more comfortable, I think, on the buy side. This is going to be do or die for the sellers now. All right, here we go. This is now up to the sellers. If they fail at this point, the market's probably going to rally a little bit higher. I could bring my stops in above the high right here, but there may be one more little hiccup along the way. So I'm trying to be a little extra patient with my stops. The signal, by the way, right here, should have printed as a number 3. I guess it just did not engage the hard edge enough, and now we're coming back with a number 2 signal, which is a result of the retest of the low, and now we're getting some additional buying pressure. If I get one more bar lower, I'll start to roll my stops up. Honestly, I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope for this particular trade. We're just so neutral at this point. Well, neutral with a bullish twist, because again, the bigger trend here today has been up. Oh, look at that. Doggone it. I was hoping to see a little bit more bearish pushback here, at least give me a chance to adjust my stops, but they're not playing nice right now. Well, they are. They're resuming the bigger trend. That's what's going on at this point. That's why very often, if the market has a trend on the day, what I will do is I will only trade in that direction. So if you look at your chart and you say, oh, well, it looks like the market's in an uptrend, you can pretty much take any buy signal and be reasonably sure that the market will rally at least enough to get to your profit objective. And that's true for any of the tools. You can find a buy signal, even one that isn't in sync. Here's a buy signal. Yes, you took some heat on the trade, but it still would have worked out for you. All right, I think I just got tagged there. Yes, I did. All right. Well, like I said, it was just there to show you perhaps what not to do. Context is so important in your trading. And I suppose next to context, patience. If you're able to discern the trend and have the patience to wait for the best signals, you probably do all right. All right, well, we're kind of in a holding pattern right now, and that's mostly because the market is also in a holding pattern. We're kind of got this sideways trading going on. And there's not going to be too much to do until the market kind of gets outside of that range. So we'll just sit here for a little bit, watch it. I'm I'm thinking, if I had to guess, I'm thinking the sellers are going to push back again, try to get the market back toward the bottom end, back down near 69.40. At the moment, however, um, we're still, like I said, in a full-on bull market. Got a nice trend change signal and a late filter entry signal overlapping here on the Falcon. That had some decent follow through. Getting the trend line touch, a macro pullback now, and 4-arrow consolidation going here on the Hawk. And the Raptor should be giving us a number one signal to buy. We have the warning dot, we've got the clouds crossed, we got the pullback. The next signal should be a buy signal. Oh, there it is right there. There's your number one. So this, oh, running away on me. I'm just going to try to simulate this for you now. Had I bought it on the or around the entry price. Getting a little late in the day too. I know we've only been trading for an hour and a bit, but you can see how the momentum has all but left the market. Maybe what we'll do is we'll look at the second push here. Maybe give it a couple of ticks. A nice thing about using a second push is you can usually get by with a slightly tighter stop as well. Okay, we're into the hard edge and looking for a possible hard edge bounce at this point. But you know what? I'm looking at this too and thinking, I wonder if this is now the test of the extreme. If this is the retest of the high, and if the market's going to try to head lower from here. Okay, the number 3 signal, which I'm obviously too late on, presented us with a good little buying opportunity there. All right, let's see if they got anything left. We're going to get in trouble as we get closer to the 69.75 zone, which is where the prices were topping out. You can see a little bit of bearish pushback from that. Again, so this may not have been the test of the extreme, but this certainly has the potential. Ideally, the market will be making a, oops, wrong button. Ideally, the market will be making a nice broad trading channel. In which case, we have lots of room to get to the top side. And there are traders who will be looking at the market exactly this way. And then there are others who will be looking at it and trying to discern a shorter range channel. Which will look something like that. Oh, they're really struggling again. Come on, get up there. We'll give them a little push with the mouse. Oh, yeah, we've really lost a lot of momentum out of the market. It's too neutral. We're too much back and forth at this point. Yeah, you can just see how the market has really changed over what we saw earlier. We're getting zero follow through. This number 3 signal, this was really the way to go on this trade. Unfortunately, I was too late on it, so I tried the buy up here, but it's not, it's not the ideal situation for trying to buy the market. We're either going to end up moving into a sideways trading range from here, or this is going to prove to be a test of the extreme, and the market will try to head lower, try to resume that overnight trend. All right, gang, I'm going to button up shop here for the morning. I've got a couple appointments I need to get to. I will see you again tomorrow. Be careful out there. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.